but how can I help it? Don't blame me. Blame your kiss, as sweet as a kiss can be, and blame all your charms that melt in my arms, but don't blame me. I can't help it if that doggone moon above makes me need someone like you to love. So blame your kiss, as sweet as a kiss can be, and blame all your charms that melt in my arms, but don't blame me.
Alright, so today we're going to try to align the IF on for AM and shortwave on this RCA Victor model 128 from 1934. I got the service info right here in my hand, and we're going to try to align the IF because the reception is a little weak with the subtle rain noise in the background because it's pissing rain. Anyways, quick backstory behind this. This is another one of the radios I got from my step-grandfather before he passed away, before they all went to his estate sale. And this one apparently goes back. This one he didn't get as like a street find or at an old radio shop or anything. This is apparently his grandfather's radio, so this goes back. So it's kind of cool when you think about it. It survived from generation to generation. In the original RCA model 128, this phono jack isn't part of the radio, so this was an add-on. You can see this wire looks fairly new, so the wire must have been replaced. But the capacitor, I don't think this was done as of, say, recently. I've had it in the radio I've had this radio in the garage now for 2-3 years. In working condition, so I don't know how recently this was done before I got it, but I'll move that away because when it grounds to this IF can, when it touches the IF can, it makes all sorts of humming noise and stuff because it's grounded to this can. Yeah, they look like pretty old. They look like older caps. They could be. They look pretty old. They're wax paper. So they're wax caps. So this was maybe put in the maybe the 50s. This was installed, but I don't know by who. Like I said, it could have been my step-grandfather's I'm guessing it was my step-grandfather's grandfather. Maybe he had a hobby in radio or something, and he restored them and stuff, and I don't know, he decided to make an add-on, a phono input to this receiver. Apparently from what I heard, my step-grandfather's grandfather served in World War II or something. This is like a pre-World War II receiver, 1934. So that's it. There's an interesting little factoid there. So I'm taking this thing apart for the first time. I've never taken this radio apart before, and I've learning new things doing it. So this is the tuning knob, right? So that's coarse tuning, and if you pull it out, you can fine tune. Huh? That's a neat little feature. I didn't notice that before. So that's coarse tune. That's fine-tuned, or a short wave, I would assume. This is interesting. You can see what was done here, because this is in the original tuning knob. So they just stuck a little piece of wood in there so that it would fit over this. Alright, so we're apart. I wonder if someone refinish this cabinet because there's something dripped down the inside of this. But here we have it apart. And right off the bat, if I flip it upside down, I've noticed someone's been in here already. You'll notice someone's been in here already. Let me carefully flip it around so you can see. Somebody's been in this and recapped it before. At least most of the capacitors were replaced. That one is a replacement. That is original. That I don't think is. That looks like it was looks like one of those white capacitors that you find in a Philco Predicta. By the way, that's coming up soon. I bought a new horizontal output tube from it off eBay. But it looks like a... This one looks in fairly good shape. This one doesn't look too old. Although it does look vintage. It looks more like from the 50s or 60s. So this has been worked on quite a few times, maybe. But that's original. That resistor is original. Is that original? I think so, yeah. That would be original, I think. That resistor was replaced down there. So there was some work done on this before. The capacitor there is original, that 600 volt. Can't see it. I'm getting leg cramps trying to bend over. That's original for sure. These are replaced. There's an orange drop. There's a resistor, 10 watt resistor. That looks very new. That looks like there's a lot of these in those 90s Hitachi CRT sets that were made by Matsushita. That one was replaced. That one was replaced. These two were down here. That looks, I think it's original. It's warm. Huh, cool. So I don't have to do any recapping. RF oscillator and first detector adjustments. 4 RF oscillator and first detector adjustments are required in band A. These are required in bands B and C. To properly align the various bands, each must be aligned individually in the order given. This is A, B, and C. B is going to be hard to align because there's nothing at the top of the shortwave band anymore. So I could just get, well, I could wait till later tonight. Maybe I might get WWCR on 3215 or 4840. The preliminary setup requires that the external oscillator be connected between the antenna and ground terminals of the receiver and the output. Okay, I'm not going to read this whole thing on camera. Okay, so I'm going to try to... Keep in mind this is not the correct way to do it. What I'm really doing is just peeking all these cans. Well, not all of them, but mainly probably just the antenna coils. But I tune into my strongest AM station, which is 1630 kilohertz, because I don't have a vacuum tube voltmeter or a signal generator or anything that I can use. But that's the next thing I want to...
In the west end, so well, it starts on the yellow edge.
That's one of the next things I want to look on eBay for or whatever to add to the workbench for stuff like this. That's what I'm doing right now. But I'm just going to try to. So I'm on 630, that's the strongest. 630 right on the dot. Right there.
Starting at about the Capilano Bridge, so you will want an alternate in that area.
And sounds like there's an accident somewhere.
We have summer vacation sales on now, but incredible places
Here we
for
go.
everything you need for your home. Limited time.
And there's spiders living under this set apparently. It looks like there's spiders living under this set. There's a bunch of webs underneath the cans.
As Global's Tom Vernon tells us, Air Products Canada announced it intends to build a $1.3 billion hydrogen facility with a goal to have it by 2024.
The project is estimated to create 2,500 jobs. The facility would produce blue hydrogen, which is made with natural gas, and it would use carbon capture.
Not the safest thing to do, stick a steel screwdriver in there like that. But yeah, I wouldn't suggest trying this at home. But this is really all I got right now. I've got my tweakers.
There could be more through the petrochemical incentives program. Many facilities do qualify under that program. The hope is this announcement is only the beginning.
You have to start somewhere. The ideal place to...
Maybe it's me. Maybe it needs a good antenna or something.
Because they have...
Okay, I got an antenna on it now. This is a little FM dipole. And see that they work good for AM shortwave and long wave as well, but rather than just FM. So let's see. That improved. Maybe it's just that I need a good antenna on it. I've put this antenna on it before. It's okay. It's not the greatest. This radio performs the best if I connect it to my MLA30 HF loop on shortwave. Actually, it performs not bad on AM as well, but okay. So RF, so oscillator, RF, antenna coil.
Clearing on Wayne Gretzky Drive.
More extensions, anything, announcements in the next little bit?
I think that a lot of this stuff is at a stand. Right now, with,
So there's 1260. I don't know if we'll get 1440. No.
Up for grabs, 2 rounds of golf for you to tee it up at Eagle Rock. Monday to Friday. Go to eaglerockgolf.com where you can book your tee time right now. And remember, just don't take a turn. If you haven't tried it, you haven't.
Okay, right there. Sounds pretty good.
Great. Good afternoon. Our question today, can you tell me which player leads the NHL playoffs in shots on goal?
Gotta be careful with the first IF down there, the first and second IF, because the second IF is attached to the ground bus from the IF tube, and so when I touch it, it arcs.
Ready? No.
I used the schematic as a reference after that, because I wondered why the transformer arced.
Oh, Carl hung up. Didn't know the answer. Didn't even want to make a guess. So there you
There's a
go.
couple screws missing out of these top ones.
4-12-60. 4-12-60. Who leads the NHL in shots on goal? Pete.
A bit better now.
You will want to
Just a
definitely
tad.
alternate maybe the white mud perhaps.
So maybe the IF wasn't that off.
While they get this semi back on track. We've also got a collision 91st Street and 51st
It's just me.
Avenue and southbound 50th Street. So the white mud is also really, really slow going. So be prepared for delays there.
Okay, there's shortwave, and you know what? It's not too bad at all. I'm actually connected to the. I just kind of was tweaking the IF down here, and I tweaked the oscillator and the RF a bit, and the antenna coil. It doesn't sound too bad. I guess it's just if it doesn't have a good antenna on, just a little piece of wire like this isn't really going to do much. Dipole. It does with some receivers. But these older ones, these older tube receivers from the 30s and 40s, it won't really improve reception much, just a little piece of wire. So I've connected, this is actually a TV matching transformer, but whatever. Connected to the antenna and ground, where they work for radio too. All it is just matching 75 ohms to 300 ohms for the terminals up here. And this is connected to the MLA30 loop. If you come over here, there's the piece of coax that leads to the desk with all the other radios. Here it's pretty loud. There's the power supply, the bias T for the MLA. So it's just 5 volts DC to power the amplifier. up there. There's the loop. It's currently raining right now. So there's the loop.
Pero ojalá y el viejo Tambreña estuviera vivo, que ya todo él, con el viejo Tambreña.
There's WWV. You can see here it's coming in real good.
At the tone, 0 hours, 18 minutes, coordinated universal time.
Solar terrestrial indices for June 9th follow. Solar plus 79, an estimated planetary index score. The estimated planetary
Solar flux is, you know, a solar flux of 79 isn't bad. At least 81 in the summer isn't bad for shortwave. Alright, it's 0200 UTC. It's right at the top of the hour. Let's see. I already had I went in and took a break, had my dinner. And waited another hour before I came out. It's 0200 at the top of the hour, so let's see what's on now.
At the tone,
Here's WWV.
3 minutes, coordinated universal.
Actually, what I'm going to do, pull this off, because it's shortwave. I learned that if, I'm assuming it's for shortwave, I learned that if you pull up the dial, click there, I can fine tune to the shortwave band now. So let me. Get the camera closer. I don't know if you can hear that.
His love and honor for her. It gave her his place. Now all the court, when they look to the king, you're also seeing the person beside him. Isn't that tremendous? So my point is actual.
But now thing is something different. Now why? Because Jesus Christ is the mediator. If the person goes direct, oh Father, and the person is... How is this going to... I really told in the beginning of the dispensation of the church age how it was going to end.
Avion Ryanair par Minsk. Elle a également discuté avec les présidents du Parti pirate Evan Baltosh et du Parti des maires indépendants Viktor Khan. Mardi soir, elle a assisté à un concert de soutien à l'opposition biélorusse organisé.
That's a great way to get better.
Life, run a separate the races. He's the one that did all that, and he put limitations on each one of them, so they don't all have a right to intrude in other people's, stay in the place or in the area that God wants them. You see, as a Christian, we must be content.
Otherwise, we'll simply be depending on our own efforts and wisdom. With that said, I think it's important to point out that ultimately, we're just the mouthpiece we are. His spokesman, if you will.
Canada. Coordinated Universal Time. 3 hours, 34 minutes.
Yeah, what's more frightening than that, though, is that you see it even within the races. It's not just one race against another. It's brother against brother. It's fighting right within the...
God's will for us is to the fullest. Jesus came that we may have abundant life. He demonstrated by his life how to live at the center of God's will every day, how to delight in doing his will, how to pray according to God's will, how to receive answers to every prayer. Prayer is God's way of solving every problem. God turns every problem into a blessing when we pray, because he desires our happiness. God.
Como ya ustedes han mencionado, se les acusa de que son traidores a la patria porque han pedido la intervención extranjera, han pedido sanciones para, ellos dicen para determinadas personas. Hoy han como toda esa ONG que trabaja
We're in the pipes right now. Toda Yahweh, thank you, Yahweh.
At the very end of this, people like to get the carrot or the sequel to somebody's head. Now, I'm not saying when God says so, I read it just as it is. When God says, something now,
before COVID, and then a year before COVID, right there in line blueprint of what to tweet and what to say when they actually do it.
So there's band B. So the top of the shortwave band, like I said, it'd be hard to align that because there's nothing there. It sounds pretty good. That's 4840 CS WWCR that I was talking about. Typically this time of night it's Alex Jones, Infowars.
Bearing what look like bodies in the backyard. They call the police get a warrant, they go out there, they dig up the body.
So, in that case, the radio is working, pretty well.
Johnson or whatever his name is, burying the body. Turns out it's his wife and kids. It's absolutely true. He's been for the whole time. Well, Bob won't admit to doing it. But the police found his diary and his why he was thinking about killing him and then why he did it. You would have to be done.
Ici, la voix de la Corée.
순추유선을 다루면서 제가 지금
Famed American professional baseball player Hank Aaron died in 2021. He played professional baseball for 23 seasons, from 1954 to 1976, and was widely regarded as one of the greatest baseball players in history. Aaron got his nickname Hammerin' Hank because he could hit home runs. He had 755 career home runs, which broke the long-standing Major League Baseball record set by the great Babe Ruth in 1967. Hank broke it in 1974. It had stood for more than 40 years. He also broke many other MLB batting records. For example, he hit 24 or more home runs every season from 1955 to 1973. And he's one of only two players to hit 30 or more home runs in a season at least 15 times. And those are just two of his many records. He's been listed in several publications as one of the 100 greatest baseball players of all time. And in 1982, he was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. These accolades are great, but Hank Aaron achieved all of this while getting death threats against him and his family. Hank Aaron was African.
That's this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk to you later. 73s.